Welcome, everyone. It is time for another episode of the Get to Know Her show, and I am your host, Monica Graves. You are all in for a big treat today. It's going to be so exciting. How are you guys doing? I had a week of a lot of Mother Nature. I was like trying to turn off devices as much as possible and really just be outside and enjoy the great outdoors. So this week I actually decided to skip the blog writing, and instead I did on my Instagram page, I did a little walk up a big steep hill. So if anybody is looking for a walk up a big steep hill, or looking to get inspired to do one, you can go check out my my Instagram post from yesterday and join me to stretch your legs and take in some Mother Nature. We really need it. Being outside is the best. I wish I could, I think that would be a good thing if we could all have outdoor virtual offices somehow. I think that would help our minds as well. Anyway, I hope you guys are doing okay and working your way through the shutdown and all of that exciting stuff. I know it's really hard and it's getting really exhausting, this pandemic, but hang in there and go for walks. So today I have a very special guest. Her name is Esmée St James, and she is a hypnotherapist. And we're going to talk all about her. I'm going to formally introduce you to her. But having her on the show today, she's in California, and I was feeling extra spring summery, so I thought I'm going to wear this nice little dress from Brenda Badome today. I will stand up and show you guys. It's so pretty and so comfy, and I love how it ties here. Now, you know the color on screen, I'm not sure how it's translating, but it's definitely a nice soft purple. It kind of looks blue on screen here when I'm looking at it, but it's a purpley color. It's really nice. So if you guys are looking to get some nice little clothes for spring summer season, go to brendabadome.com and use the coupon code Get to Know Her for a whole 21% off of your order, which is awesome. All right, are you ready? I am going to introduce Esmée to you. Esmée is a certified hypnotherapist, speaker, and best-selling author. After struggling with a lifetime of self-doubt and limiting beliefs, Esmée decided to lean out a different window and take control of her life. Instead of trying to work through every variation of the same issues, she turned to hypnotherapy to heal the source of the problem. And that's how she found her true calling. Now, as a certified hypnotherapist, she uses the same powerful techniques to help others find inner peace. I cannot wait to chat with Esmée about her personal journey, about her book, and so many other amazing accomplishments in her life. Let's bring her on. Esmée.
Hi.
It's so good to see you. And
So
what
good to
time
see
is it
you.
there now?
It is 1 o'clock right now. Oh, no, 10 a.m. It's 1
10
o'clock for
a.m.
you. Yeah.
That's right. I'm making you go for Eastern time. Oh, God. So you guys are just starting the day. You just finished breakfast.
Yeah, apparently we had the same thing for breakfast.
Yeah.
Blueberries and yogurt.
I know. What a coincidence. I was very late with breakfast today, but it was... we were eating it.
Coincidences.
There are no coincidences. No. Exactly. I'm so happy you're here, and it's exciting to talk to you all the way in California. Like, this technology is amazing. I didn't have to fly you in on my private jet this time.
I wish. I would like to give you a real hug.
I know. I would too. Oh, Esmée, so we're so excited. I can't wait to dive into everything you're doing and the way you're helping people. But I have to ask you first what little Esmée wanted to be when she grew up.
That is an excellent question, Moni, and I absolutely love it because I know what I wanted to be. When I was a little kid living in Holland, I wanted to be a cowboy named Jim. That was my desire because my parents used to watch. We were in Holland. There was one TV. It was black and white, and it was in their bedroom, so we could only watch it when we were permitted to. And there was not much on, really.
Yeah.
We got to watch it maybe twice a week. My parents would watch Rawhide and Ponderosa. And I fell in love with Clint Eastwood in Rawhide, and I just wanted to be a cowboy. It was like that to me was what America consisted of. Cowboys and sharks. We watched Flipper too.
Oh God. That's amazing. Oh my gosh. Yeah. This is like a first. I love that.
And it is, the crazy thing is, I'm still scared of horses.
Are you?
Yeah, and I always thought, oh, this is going to be easy. This is a thing I can do because I love it. And excuse me, I got a hair in my lip. I got on a horse. I took some lessons. I got thrown off, and I went, that's it, no more. I was so scared, but I have ridden them since. It's strange.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah. Oh my God, I love it. So how old were you when you got thrown off the horse?
Oh gosh, I think I was about 11 or so. My best friend got horseback riding lessons, and she was really good at it. She was one of those kind of people that just has an affinity or a complicity with horses. I didn't want to be like her. I was comparing myself to her, a thing that we all do sometimes still. I begged my mom for lessons. I took like a few months of lessons, and I got thrown off, got the wind knocked out of me. And I went, you know what? This isn't for me. They're just bigger than I am. Why should I want to sit on a big thing that can throw me off?
Yeah. Doesn't make any sense. That's so funny. So did you do your horseback riding? Did you do those lessons in Holland, or were you already, where were you living?
In Port Credit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you remember, as way back when I was 10 or 11 at the time too, I went to Burton Stables. My mom sent my brother and I there for horseback riding lessons. Exactly the same thing. I was on this horse and it tossed me off. And I was like, that is it. And I did it once again, like in Cuba on the beach for a friend at a friend's wedding. We all did. And that was okay. But I was so nervous. Yeah.
I got over it finally, though, actually, because I have a friend. I got thrown off before that. No, before a couple of years ago, I went camping with a friend for a week at Kennedy Meadows, which is in the High Sierras. It's a beautiful place. It's very rugged. And he had 2 horses. And he said, we're going to go riding. Don't worry. Just do exactly what I tell you to. And that was okay. I'll tell you more, though. Before that, when I was about 35, I went for a weekend whitewater rafting. And then in the morning after the rafting, we all decided, let's go trail riding. We went to get on some horses. And I was so nervous that I probably seemed offstandish to the stable owner, that they put me on the horse that was the least receptive to instructions. And of course, we're riding along. I was with my sister. My horse decided, I think I'm just going to burst into a gallop instead of just like a little trot, and it went, boom. It just took off down the field, and it was late summer. So the ground was dry and hard. And I started to fall off sideways, and I decided, okay, enough of this. I just kind of threw myself off, and I dropped, rolled, bounced again, rolled, and cracked my elbow. It was like, okay, I guess I've learned my lesson now. But then I went again with this horse a couple of years ago on this wonderful camping trip. We were riding along this steep rock cliff thing where if you look down below, there's like maybe 1,000 feet below a raging rapids of the Stanislaus River. And if you look up, it's more sheer granite, a little tiny path. And it was kind of like close your eyes and just let the horse lead. It's like right on the edge.
Oh God.
Yeah. On this long trip. And it was hair raising, but I just trusted. I just followed the instructions. Like the guy said, and at one point we're crossing a little stream and my horse slipped, lost its footing, and just rolled over into the water. And I just got off, rolled away, got on the thing, but the horse almost drowned. My friend literally had to like get, brace himself. And you know how they say how mothers could lift a car off their child if the child is stuck under a car? Well, it was like that. He just used his superhuman strength and lifted the horse up like till it got up, and it was okay. All I could think was, oh my God, I got to get these boots and pants off because they were full of water. So while he's like checking his horse, I'm whipping off my jeans, I'm whipping off my boots, and standing there in my underwear going, okay, I'm with 2 guys. Maybe that's not a good idea.
Oh my God. That's incredible. Wow.
Yeah. So now I'm not so afraid anymore because I survived.
Yeah, well, that's quite the story. And now I mean, it's cool. The horses kind of feel your energy too, I guess. Like
They
they
really
know
do.
when you're nervous, and God, that's an amazing story. As I think the cowboy dream is going to come true.
I think it has.
I think it already
I had my
has. Yeah.
week.
That's awesome. So can you tell us exactly what a hypnotherapist is?
Absolutely. I'd be
Yeah, that would be good
happy to share that with you. Yeah.
Yeah.
What I do is I need to give a bit of foreground first.
Yeah.
Our mind, we have our conscious mind and our unconscious mind. And I'm sure you and all your viewers may have heard this before, but I'll reinforce it, is that we use mostly just the top 5% or so of our conscious mind. So imagine it's the top of a pyramid. That part is what we're using all the time. And it's our critical analytical mind. We're always like thinking. Whereas underneath that other 95% is our unconscious mind, our subconscious mind. And the subconscious mind is full of all of our beliefs and our structure, our blueprint, if you will. Normally, up until we're about the age of 7, excuse me, we're in a very suggestible brainwave state. It's called theta. And that means that you're always kind of in a daydreamy kind of a condition. And when you're little, imagine you're like a computer that comes with just a very basic OS, but nothing else, no programs or anything. Mm-hmm. So when you're little, you start to create your own programs by paying attention to and getting cues from your environment, whether it be your parents, your friends, what you might see on TV, things that happen to you, things that you see and hear, and you set your rules and your beliefs by that. So if you're told to that, let's say, for instance, I had this, don't cry, stop crying, toughen up, don't cry. If you get that when you're in your mind, when you're very little, or you're ugly, or you're this, or you're amazing too. A lot of parents are wonderful that way. That sticks with you, excuse me, for the rest of your life. And so we may not know it, but when things come up that challenge us, we might get triggered by something that we learned when we were very young, and we behave a certain way. You've heard of emotional eating. So your parents might have given you food when you're crying to just, shut you up, basically.
Yeah.
And a lot of people eat because of that. They think that that's their comfort, is to put food in their mouth. They're like, okay, I'm okay. I'm loved. I just need to put food in my mouth. Things like that. And when you think about it as an adult, it's like, what? That doesn't make sense. But there it is. It's stuck in your unconscious mind. So as a hypnotherapist, what we do is I go into your unconscious mind. I get my client really, really relaxed and let that conscious mind kind of drift. And we go into the unconscious mind, and using, a lot of questioning. We do have a conversation while you're under hypnosis, using a lot of questioning, not leading questions, but just exploring what you already know, what your higher self already knows, and help change things around a little bit, kind of rewire, reprogram that, so that unconscious limiting belief alters and it becomes for your good. We add affirmations, visual imagery. It's really amazing how it works.
That's amazing. So you've, like, in your life, because I've known you, you've done so many amazing things. Like I love watching you, because you're one of those people who's never been afraid to try things, to reinvent yourself. You know about so many things. I mean, you modeled for years, you're a photographer, like you have so many talents. So what was it about this that really, why hypnotherapy for you? You had an experience with it yourself, correct?
I did.
Yeah. Okay. So
why hypnotherapy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It's an excellent question.
I'm so excited about it. I'm like, okay. Yeah.
So there came a point in my life where I was just in a really bad spot. I was in a relationship that broke up, and it really wasn't pretty at all. It was one of the worst ones. It was a fiance I was engaged to, and just bad things happened. And I went to a psychotherapist to help get some resolution for that. I tried antidepressants. They just made me feel strange. I didn't like it. And I knew that it was a situational thing, not a long-term thing. It was because of the spot I was in that things were going around. I couldn't find my way out of it. I tried acupuncture, I tried massage, chiropractic, everything to set myself straight, and nothing was working. There was a breaking point where one time I was still living in the same house as this person. I had my own apartment in the back of the house, and I couldn't move out because of our situation. We hadn't settled anything. It was the middle of the night, and I found myself crying on the bathroom floor. I still remember those cold white tiles. I was just curled up in a ball, just sobbing for hours. And then it stopped, and I thought, nothing I'm doing is working. I need to find something else. Well, out of the blue, a girlfriend of mine called me and said, I've been getting hypnotherapy she'd been abused as a child by someone in her family. And I saw, it was visceral. I saw the difference in her, and it was rapid. She had 12 sessions with this hypnotherapist. So I thought, I'm going to do that. I'm just going to call her up. So I did, and I got sessions, and it made such a huge difference for me. It really turned me around. We dealt with a few different problems. And at the end of our sessions, the woman said, I have a school of hypnotherapy. Her name's Grace Smith. I went to this school. I signed up immediately, and it took me about a year or so to sign up to actually execute the classes, because I had a lot of things to take care of first. But when I started to take the classes and I started to work on people, and I saw the difference that it made on them, wow, it was like, I found my calling. This is what I need to do.
Wow.
So here I am.
That's so exciting. I love that. And I'd be curious. I mean, obviously you have, confidentiality with your clients, but just talking about women in general, I wanted to ask you, because I know, it's like, first of all, if you don't mind, I'd love for you to let the audience know how old you are, because they're not even going to believe it.
Sure. I'm 62.
Yeah, like, hello. Okay, so, and a lot of my audience is like in that 40 to 70 range, right? And I feel, as especially after this pandemic now, getting back out, and I'm only speaking for myself personally, the sitting and we're of course in Canada, the long cold winters, you think you're going to be the snow bunny and out there every day, and then you end up watching Netflix and emotional eating and all of that stuff. And then spring comes around and you feel almost like, have I expired? Like, my body's not doing what it used to do. I feel so lethargic. What the hell is this belly? Like, all these types of things, right? And so it's this constant, it's like an annual struggle almost. And the older we get, of course, the faster that we put on the pounds, and the mobility starts to be affected and all this kind of thing. And you have been like, every time I see you, you're like jumping in an ocean, on a surfboard, climbing a mountain, going down a ski hill. You've really stuck with that. And I just wondered if we can talk about that a little. Like, do you find that you have clients who are struggling with this as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I do have clients who are struggling with eating. They just eat too much and they get stuck in a rut. And it does have to do with upbringing. Some of them, it's things they were told when they were little.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of it has to do with self-worth and believing in yourself. The most important thing is to take care of yourself and to believe in yourself and protect yourself fiercely in that way. Protect your life force, your life energy. And the way that I do that, if I may share, is I just make sure I get outside every day. I mean, we get a lot of snow where I am right now. And I remember living in Canada, even in midwinter, I didn't care what time of night or what the weather was. In fact, often my ritual was to go for a walk at midnight. I'd walk down to the lake. I'd just wrap up. And that was when it was nice and quiet. My favorite things are to be outside in nature, either with a really good friend or someone I love, or just by myself, and just be in that and realize how much a part of it that I am and that we all are. So when you can get outside and feast your eyes on whatever's around you, snowflakes or raindrops, I don't care what it is, just go outside and move your body for at least half an hour every day. Because when you do that, not only Do you get some exercise and get your heart rate up? Of course, don't really dawdle, just move your buns, go.
Yeah.
Feel this going, right?
Yeah.
But it's been proven that just the mere fact that you're outside looking at nature, no matter what it is, it's very healing. And I was lucky enough to grow up outside. We were always playing outside. Like I said, there was practically no TV. So I was climbing trees. I was a tomboy. I was playing, running, biking, just doing everything I could to be outside. That was what I fell in love with. And so really, it's important to fall in love with being outside and moving your body, because it's a real gift. And when you move it all the time, you're always keeping it healthy. It's as simple as that. I don't have the emotional eating thing because my mom she was, more picky about what she fed us, and we weren't allowed to have a lot of sugar. So that's not a thing, but a lot of people have that. It's about taking care of what you have, and defending that fiercely, pretty much.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah. So I would imagine, do you find that some of your clients, it is that, like, it's rooted from childhood when you're getting into this subconscious mind? Do you find a lot of the times it is something that's rooted from when they were a child and they're going there for the comfort?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, for the comfort. I mean, I have one client, and I can't share her name, but
no,
she was eating too much. She was gaining weight. And it turned out that first of all, her parents were not really, her dad was a drinker and her mom was kind of not really around taking care of her that much. She was troubled. A cousin's grandmother said to her, "Oh, you were ugly when you were little, but you're getting cuter now." And comments like that, we have to be so careful what we say to kids. That stuck with her, and she's in her 30s, and we found this belief and undid it and changed it. But boy, you know what? Words can hurt you. Words can really hurt you if spoken at a certain time in a certain way.
Yeah, that's right. Do you follow Jay Shetty at all, Esmée? Do you know Jay Shetty?
I've heard of him. He's
he's
a mentor I have, but
okay, cool.
Him. Yeah.
So it's funny because this morning I was listening to his latest podcast, and he's interviewing Oprah and another doctor, and they have put a book together, and it's exactly about this, what you're talking about. It's really interesting. And the doctor was saying that they had done some experiments actually with rats, I guess, where they took one rat out of a safe situation for like 2 minutes or something and put him back in. And as that rat aged, the effects on the body were so negative in comparison. It was like a fast stress test kind of thing. But their whole point was that just what you're saying about what kind of language are you using and what are you saying to children, and being so careful as to not damage their self-worth. But on the other side of it, that's life too, right? And as adults, it's up to us to heal all of this so that we can now mother ourselves in a positive way, right?
Yeah. And the first step is to recognize it, say, for instance, if you're always choosing to be with spouses that are addicts of some kind, then you start to feed into that and start to take care of them. And a lot of us might go into the victim role. I mean, we see that with people a lot. I get that a lot with my clients, as they get stuck in the victim role, and then they're angry, and they just constantly have these thoughts in their mind that are crowding out so much space, taking so much space, that they can't allow good thoughts to come in, and they can't succeed in what they're doing because they always feel they have to be on eggshells or watching out for the other guy.
Yeah, it's so amazing. It's amazing how going through life, there's so much default stuff, right? Where we just default to these like unhealthy habits or patterns of thinking. And, actually I was talking to your sister about this week, that, it's like you getting well and feeling good is work. It's not, it's where it's so confusing because it's like, it's where we're all supposed to be. But to have that awakening and to actually live in that way you got to do the work, right? So thank God we have people like you that can help and guide us through, because it's not easy to do that nobody can do that on their own, right? Like,
absolutely. And even myself as a hypnotherapist, I have a hypnotherapist that I work with. I have a Reiki woman that I work with, because we may be able to help others, but we all have our own stuff and it's a constant lifelong journey to keep improving yourself. I believe, and this, there's something else I want to say that I'm also offering now is past life regression and life between lives. And those are longer sessions. And I have to say that they are just mind bending, because you really get to find out who you were in a past life, and you go on the journey with your soul into the soul realm. Now,
how do you take people there, Esmée? How do you take people there?
Well, it sounds like a fantastical journey, but it is really, we're all able to do. We just have to have an open mind and an open heart. And so I just get people really relaxed, do the hypnotherapy thing, get them really in that very Zen mindset, mind zone, brainwave state where they're able to talk. They're conscious. If they have to go to the bathroom or the alarm goes off, they can easily get up and take care of that. It's fine. But we end up going back into a past life. Just, it's a process. Those sessions are longer. They're several hours long. And the time goes by like that. It's amazing.
Wow.
And so people will have certain questions before they go in, like, oh, I want to know more about this or that. The cool part is that you will be shown what you need, not necessarily what you want. So we can go back into their past life. Usually, always it's the most significant one that they need to see right now, because we all have had many, many past lives. We go down into that, and then we end up going into the soul realm, where the soul leaves the body. And the soul is a constant, it's eternal, according to this. Now, you may or may not believe in this, but I found this, everybody kind of goes on the same thing. It's a thing. It's real. There's been books written about it by psychiatrists and all that. So we go into the soul realm, and this is where we can find out what your purpose is, why you chose the body you chose. You may find out why you chose the parents you chose. You can get insights from your higher self, from your soul, that you might have forgotten when you were born, because when you're born, that memory of your soul starts to fade, and we can tap into that again, because it's all there. But it's a matter of getting so deep into hypnosis that you can tap into it. I've had it done on myself a few times, and I'm still processing it, because there's so much, and it's incredible. Each time that we come back to Earth, we have more karma to live out, more things to correct from our past lives. Okay, this time maybe I screwed it up, or I did this really well, or whatever. You go back into the soul realm, there's guides, you get information from other souls there that are more learned than you are, that are a higher level than you are. And then you get to choose the next body that you want to go into. And then you kind of go over what you want to do. You go back to Earth, and you lose that memory, but somewhere inside you know what you need to do.
Yeah.
So that to me is just the most incredible, amazing, healing, revealing thing.
Wow. Yeah. And is this something that you need to see people in person for, or can you actually work like energetically with
Zoom? Yeah, I do it all on Zoom. Yeah, it's those sessions I do on Zoom. I have the video on, because I kind of need to see expressions and stuff. The other hypnotherapy that I do, the regular sessions, those are all just on audio on Zoom. I find it's nice because people can just relax in their bed or on their couch, and it's very cozy.
Yeah, it's true. It's amazing. I go for Reiki as well, and it's been, we haven't been able to see each other, and it's funny, even just like the stress of driving there and then driving back through it almost like, then you're back home and you're like, oh, that session was really good, but I just sat on the 401 for 2 hours, like, yeah, you're right. But this is nice. It's sort of like, now I feel like I'm floating for longer, and it's, you can
just lay where you are and just process that and stay with it. I find it so much more powerful.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. And even the voice in your ear, right? Like it's, you can really, you feel the person who's treating you in a different way.
You
Yeah,
do.
I
When
like
they're
it.
in your ears, they're in your head. It's great.
Yeah, yeah, it's amazing. That's so great. So as your book, I did
Yes,
want to touch on your book too.
of course.
We've got, yeah. So tell us all about that. And what
My
inspired you to write? Like that's a big undertaking.
It certainly was.
Yeah.
And it's oddly enough, it happened at the same time that I was breaking up. I had just hired a coach to help walk me through the book. I wrote everything myself, but it was nice to have a
Wow.
guide because you can say, "Oh, I'm going to design clothes. I'm going to be Brenda Badome,"
Yeah.
and you have no idea of where to start or what to do, what people want, what the structures of that. So this person helped me figure out what the sequence of things, and it was great. But it happened right as I was breaking up, so I decided this is going to be part of my therapy. I'm just going to write, and I decided to do a chapter a week. I did the whole rough draft of the book in just 8 weeks. And
Oh,
I
that's
remember
incredible.
I propped my laptop up on a milk crate, and I
Yeah.
stood up, and I would write all night. I would just type all night because that's when the muse visits for me. So
Yeah.
it was my therapy. And so what caused me to write the book was that a while back I had been a dating coach for men,
Yeah.
and I was helping. I moved to the Bay Area near San Francisco for a bit, and I was modeling before that. I knew photography, and when I moved, I decided to just quit everything that I was doing. I'm just going to reinvent myself. I had just turned 50. And I saw all these kind of awkward men around, and I had no idea of what a tech geek was or anything like that. It was like, why are all these guys so, you know, different, shall we say, like
Yeah.
very technical, and they didn't know how to dress, and they were awkward around women. So I've got a job to do. So
That's great.
I started off with working on them on their wardrobe, look better, hold themselves up better, the posture and everything, and go get your hair this way, and I will take them shopping and everything.
Yeah.
And then after a while, I realized that, well, that's just fixing the exterior, and that's nice. That'll get a woman's attention, of course, because you're no longer scaring her with the way you look.
Yeah.
So, well, some of the guys were pretty scary. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
right, just not. And then wondering why women wouldn't pay attention to them. Well, you got to be able to turn heads. It's like, we need to
Yeah.
do this too.
Yeah.
And I realized I needed to go deeper. I was coaching them for a lot of aspects of their lives. And I realized that after finding out about hypnosis, I could go so much deeper with them. But before I got to the hypnosis part, I thought, I just need to write a book. And the other part of it was that when I was growing up, as I got older, my mom and dad kind of butted heads a bit. And
Yeah.
so my mom would complain to me about my dad, which kind of made me feel awkward because I was in the middle. But then I would go to my dad and try and fix things. And he would say, well, I don't understand why your mother, blah, blah, blah. And I would explain it to him. I have a feeling that my dad was a little bit on the spectrum, just a touch, because I had to explain everything very technically. When this, then you, each and every single time. Wasn't able
Right.
to apply it to other things. But finally I thought, oh, you know what? I'm just going to write a book because I'm working with men, and I've had all these questions from my dad, and I've been observing all my life. This needs to go down in print. So that's where I wrote the book.
Wow. That's
And
incredible.
it was fun. I called it Chick Magnet, What Men Don't Know That Women Wish They Did. And the first
Excellent.
part of it was fun just coming up with the title. The first part was all about guys. Like, explain to them, when you do this, and she might think this, etc. Here's how you can be a better man. And I have at the end of every chapter a checklist of things that they can do. I called it the punch list. And there's a story in every single chapter, which, because story is always powerful, you can put yourself right in there.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second part of the book is called Her, and it's all personal experiences and how I felt or how women feel when men do this. So it explains what's going on in her head, because a lot of guys are going around worrying, oh, what if she doesn't like me? What if you're worrying about themselves? And really, the first thing they should be worrying about is, how do I not scare her? Because as women, we're
Yeah.
always on guard. We always have our spidey sense out for guys that are not safe, for guys that are dangerous,
Mm-hmm.
because we're physically smaller and
Yeah.
more vulnerable that way. So we do need to watch out for ourselves.
Right.
Then there's the last part of the book, which is all about things that help others, as in how to take a compliment, also how to uh, have good table manners, things like that, things that can really screw you up, whether you're in a business meeting or you go to your, girlfriend's parents' place and you're eating
Yeah.
with your fork and knife, like you're like,
I
stabbing
know
and stuff.
what. Yeah.
Oh, I can't watch this, or you're slurping,
Yeah.
or, things that, things
Oh
that
my
matter. How to
God.
be a good leader, how to be a better leader, things like
Yeah.
that. I had a lot of fun writing that book.
That's amazing. And also going back to what you were talking about before, like, taking care of yourself, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Like,
Yeah. Well, because
yeah.
when a guy takes care of himself, and a woman too, this really goes both ways, all of this.
Hmm.
When we take care of ourselves, then we show that we respect ourselves, and we're not someone that can be stepped on. We're someone that is to be respected, because we show that for ourselves.
Hmm.
And I find that sometimes that's one of the hardest things to do, is to love yourself. I had a
Mm.
conversation with my sister recently, and I was just talking with her. I was going on about something. Because, as you know, the answer really is to just love yourself. And now, is that like having a bad day? We all have them. Even I do.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And it's like,
Yeah.
well, sure, would you mind sending me the manual to that? I felt like I was 5 years old. So it's like,
Yeah.
but I've been reading some interesting books lately. I read one recently by Anita Moorjani. It just came out. It's called Sensitive is the New Strong. And oddly enough, it's one of the
Mm.
things that she talks about a lot in this book. And I use some of this in my sessions now, is how to love yourself. And it's really about, because as empaths, we have to turn up our empath dial. And I'm an
Mhm.
empath. You got to turn up your confidence dial, because as empaths, we often turn down our ego because we don't want to step on anybody's feet, or we want to make
Mhm.
sure everything's okay. Or the caretaker. You got to turn up that self-care, that ego dial. And it's perfectly okay to have an ego. We need that to protect ourselves.
Yeah, definitely. I know this is so enlightening, because I'm thinking about the self-care and how, it's connected to self-worth, and then how we can fall back into these patterns where it's just, something stupid, even like like, let's say I'll have a mess on my desk and I'm like reaching for something, and then there's something sharp here and it's gonna, and I don't move it. I'm like, you deserve to be stabbed. You shouldn't have it. It's such a messy desk. That's a bad example, but you know what I mean? Like,
I
just dumb
totally know you.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or my wrist is killing me from overexertion, but I got to carry those groceries, and, how dare you break down? Like, I'm always like beat, with stuff like that. And it's just
Like,
so nuts. Like, I
watch,
can't
reach out
imagine.
for help, huh?
Yeah. I can't imagine, like, sitting on my perch and watching my husband do all the things, right?
Yep.
You want to be like, yeah, just, I love that feeling of being strong and being able to, I can do it myself. But on the other hand, you know, yeah, I'm lucky
I
I
just,
have a guy that's like, put that down. I'm taking it, like, doesn't take
yeah.
advantage, but yeah.
This is a thing that, where as women, we can sometimes falter, is that we forget to ask for help.
Mm,
Now, I'm pretty sure that you, like me, was brought up to be very self-sufficient, to take care of
yes.
stuff. I have a complete set of power tools, and I know how to use each one. I have 3 different power saws, not a problem. But after a while, it's you know what? There really is some stuff that men are just stronger, and they want to help us. And
Mhm.
if you put it on yourself to do everything yourself, you become almost too self-sufficient. You become, maybe that's the wrong word.
Mm.
You become so that you don't want to ask for help, because you can do it yourself, even though it might hurt you, it might wear you out, you might saw your finger off or whatever.
Mhm.
Just remember that you should always ask for help when no matter what. It's important to just ask, because there's a chapter on this in my book, actually, where
Yeah.
I had a girlfriend who was head of HR at some big company in the US somewhere. She told me a story about there was a cute guy who was working in the same business building, whatever she was, and he would see her, and she's a lovely person, just a wonderful energy. He would always run to open the door for her, and she would say, "No, I can get that. I can get that." And then finally I said to her, her name was Connie. I said, "Connie, just let the guy open the door for you, because you're doing him a favor, because he wants to show you that he's strong and he can open the door, and then he's chivalrous." So sometimes we don't allow ourselves, we don't allow the men around us to be chivalrous.
Yeah.
So if I'm going into a building with my boyfriend, I'll just stand in front of the door until he opens it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's nice for sure.
Like, give him a chance.
Yeah. I love that. And it's almost like, you know, as women, we have to learn that asking for help does not mean we're helpless.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, it's
we're
okay.
smart.
Yeah, we're smart. Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. That's so good. So I wanted to let you know, Catherine Vanderoy says, "I love Jay Shetty," in caps. Esmée, Judy Garrett Shapiro says, "Esmée, sensitive is the new strong. I would like to talk to you about that." So
good.
That's cool. Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, this is so great. So as I can't even believe it, we've talked for 45 minutes. I feel like it's been 10.
Yeah.
I could keep going because this is so amazing. So I want to invite you to join me on a little Instagram after party. Are you up for that?
I'm honored.
Cool.
I am.
Okay, great. Yeah, and I'd love to talk to you about a day in the life of Esmée. That would be awesome.
That'll be fun.
We'll go over there. Okay. Thank you so much for doing this today and being here with us. We all needed you today. I'm telling you. Great energy and such good advice. And
it's my honor. It's my pleasure, Moni. And you can see I wore your necklace.
I love it.
Honor. I had so many compliments on this.
Aw, that's so great. It looks beautiful on you. I got the blue eyes in the necklace.
Oh, good. Yes, you got it right.
Awesome. All right, my love. Well, enjoy some champagne back there in the virtual green room.
I will. My favorite.
Okay.
See you on Instagram.
See you soon. Okay, cool. Thank you guys so much for tuning in with the fabulous Esmée St James. She is so awesome. And that was really great to talk to her. I just love talking about things to help us feel better, break patterns, you know, live the best life that we possibly can. It's good. We can always learn. So enjoy the rest of your day. If you need a little pick-me-up for some spring, summer clothing, please visit brendabadome.com and use the coupon code GET2KNOW-HER for 21% off of your order. And if you happen to be watching this on YouTube, I would love you to subscribe to the channel and catch more interviews with amazing guests. I'm thinking Esmée might have been our 60th interview. I'll have to double check that. But yeah, it's been incredible. So thank you all for your support. Please subscribe, and we will see you back here next week with an amazing, inspiring businesswoman. Keep on showing the world your sparkle. Bye for now.